Hey everybody, Clint Hardy here back with you today. This is April 10th, 2018. It's been a little while since I've made a video. We've had an extremely cold and wet spring thus far. It's really limited my ability to get out in the field and get some field work done that I need done. But what that has done is given me an opportunity to do some planter work, get some equipment ready for the upcoming months of planting our crop. So I'm going to walk through with you today on what exactly I've been doing to this John Deere 7000. So it needed a work. Last year was my first year with it. It really needed a lot of work done to it, and this has given me a good opportunity to get that done. So as you guys can tell, I've gotten the frame all painted up, and I'm in the process of painting the hopper, the fertilizer hoppers up on top. It's my eventual goal, hopefully this next fall, to actually get rid of those. And I want to go liquid in furrow fertilizer, but I'm not going to be able to do that this year. This planter was just about all rusted out, and I'm going to try to find some pictures posted for this planter that show how faded the paint was. I mean, it was getting rusty, so what I did was I ground down all the rust spots, and where everything was dirty, power washed it, cleaned it off real nice, and got a sprayer for $20 at Tractor Supply. I think $20 or $24, and spent about $30 on paint. And you can tell that there's a few spots that I've missed here, like right here, right around that spring. That was one of the better spots on this planter. So I've also gone through and started replacing each one of the seed tube guards. I've got seed firmers put on half the planter, a little over half the planter at this point. New seed disc openers. The ones that we had on there before were the notched ones, and I'll show you here in a minute what those were looking like. And then half of the closing wheels, the closing wheel rubbers, needed to be replaced as well. Also, since this is a ground-driven planter still, we're not on the electric clutch planter meters, so we're still going off the chains off of the ground tires there. So we also replaced all of the idler springs for the chain drives here for the seed boxes. Now this planter is not set up for the insecticide boxes, since obviously I'm organic. I think there is a couple products for that, but I'm just not set up for it for this year. Next year I might look at adding something along those lines. I went to the heavy duty seed disc openers. Also, I had to replace the mud scrapers there. They were all gone, and I think I've got one right here actually. This is one of the better ones that we had left on the planter, and you can tell. Now this is for the other side obviously, but you can tell how far that was worn down. And when I got this planter, when I bought this planter, I'd been lied to a little bit. Go figure, implement dealer not telling you the whole truth. But he said this was in good working order. All the seed disc openers had just been replaced, which was an absolute lie. I was inexperienced enough to believe him. Without measuring anything, I didn't know what to look for. But now, after running for a year, doing a lot of research over the last year, I have learned quite a bit. This year will be my last year for this style of closing wheel bracket. I don't like this tensioner right here. This is how you increase or decrease the downforce pressure. I am also adding brackets to the floating, the trash wheels here, the Yetter row cleaners. These Yetter row cleaners are pretty good, pretty aggressive, and that's where these things help out quite a bit. They limit how deep they can go, and this will also help with that as well. With tilling right before I plant, I won't have as much trash to contend with this year as I have last year, but there is still some out there. There's some topsoil residue that they'll help clean up. So not quite done yet, but it's a work in progress. So here are the old seed disc openers, the old furrow openers, and as you can tell, some of these, I mean, they're not worn the same remotely at all. So there's no way that these openers were new last year at all. I only planted 130 acres. I'm not a big fan of how these seed openers work anyway. It didn't seem like I got an even trench down at the bottom of the furrow. What it looked like is where these divots are, it didn't cut the seed trench all the way down to how far it was supposed to go. So these are the disc openers that I replaced. I don't really know of another application we could use them for other than junking them and just getting rid of them. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I bought them on Shoop. Oh no, I'm sorry. I bought these, the new seed disc openers, on Sloan Express. I think I only paid 24 bucks for the whole assembly, for the blade and the bearing and everything. They've been pretty good to work with. So them and Shoop are probably your two best bets on getting the best deal and for the best product. So I've also been replacing some of these tires, these gauge wheel tires. Again, this is an inexperience problem that I had. I just didn't know what to look for when I bought this silly thing. I mean, I still got a decent deal for it. I only paid a little over $4,000 for the planter itself. But when I bought it, the guy told me that this right here is not a big issue because the soil will come around there and it won't get in the tire. It's just not a big deal to replace these tires when they get like this. And dummy me, I didn't know any better. So this one was starting to crack. I went ahead and got that one replaced. And you can tell, I'm going to set the new one up right beside it, what the difference is. I mean, the one on the left is obviously very worn, and the one on the right is brand new. So, you know, for the money, you just can't not replace it. And that was one that I didn't even see. This is the one that I originally saw. So, youth and inexperience, yeah, that I would say that was the problem on some of these gauge wheels. Same thing for the closing wheels. Let's see where it's at here. So these closing wheels are all chewed up, in really bad shape. I'm replacing 6 of them, the 6 of them that are really bad. And I can tell that some of them had been replaced because they did have written on the closing wheel frame there that it had been replaced. So I'm also upgrading the seed firmers here. It didn't have anything on there prior. So we're putting the Keaton seed firmers with the liquid fertilizer adapter. Now, even though I'm not going to have the liquid tanks on there, I wanted to go ahead and have these in place ready to go for when I get liquid tanks in there later this fall. Putting new seed tubes in. The seed tubes that were in there were all worn down. The tips had started pushing in. That, you know, will affect your seed placement. I went and got the seed tubes that had the sensor holes on there. I'm not getting the sensors. I want to get the 2020 seed sense, and I'll probably get that next year as well. So yeah, it's been a process, but it's getting there. So these are the seed tube guards that were in there, and they're pretty thin. They've really worn down quite a bit. We'll see if we can do a side-by-side comparison here of what's in there, and they do look different, but they didn't have any of this old style on any one of the websites. And I wanted the seed tube holder on the seed tube protector as well. So one thing that I learned, you can't have a bolt up here because it does rub on the seed disc openers. So you have to actually put the cotter pin back in there, the circle cotter pin, the compression, whatever they call it. I'm not really 100% sure. So but when it's all said and done, I'll take another video, add some pictures, something of what it all looks like when it's all said and done. Hey, thanks guys. Hope you're having fun out there, and any questions or comments, let me know. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. Thanks guys.